What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Player of the Month, Aspas, the 89 rated striker. This is his 5th special card already. He's managed to get himself a storyline card, which was an 86. He then got an inform 86 before you could even get that season. And then we've got a second inform and now a Player of the Month that is 89 rated, and he is coming in at just shy of 100k on both consoles. I think it's a good price for an 89 rated card if you can craft him. If you are less sentimental than how I am with cards, you can whack him in an SBC, you can craft him for literally nothing. He is very, very cheap to do, and especially with the player picks, with all the fodder that we're getting, you can get him done pretty easily. And then you've got an 89 to put into an Icon SBC or any big boy SBC later on down the line when Aspas eventually gets a higher rated card. But let me know down below, how many Player of the Month cards have you done? Let me know down below. Make sure you like and subscribe whilst you're there, and let's get into the review. So Aspas is a 3-star skiller, 4-star weak foot. He is left-footed, 5'9" with a high work rate, and he is a lean body type, coming in at 33 years old. So obviously his generation should be quite nice in the end of the review, so stay around for that. And like I said, he's coming in just under 100k on both consoles. 87 pace, acceleration a little bit lower than the sprint speed, which I think we can manage, but I think that is a big I personally think acceleration in this game is more important than it ever has been. Shooting wise, 94 finishing, very nice. Everything else in the mid to high 80s, I can't complain at his shooting one bit. He's got a lovely little shot on him. Trait wise, I think we've got outside of the foot shot, finesse shot, leadership, set piece specialist, and team player. Really, there's not a trait that he doesn't have, so it is a very nice traded card as well. Passing wise, I'd say above average, quite nice, couple of 80s. Dribbling wise, again, everything's nice, bar from the balance. And I think the one thing dribbling wise that this card doesn't tick my boxes is just his animations. I don't know what it is. He's a lean card, but feels clunky. He feels stocky. He feels a little bit sluggish. I'm not saying that he's turning like a train, but for a 5'9" player with great agility, balance, yes, it's not great, but you can get it up if you really wanted to. Obviously, everyone's going for the engine chem style on this card, and it does get the balance up to 86, but I just think he just feels, I don't know what it is, it's an animation thing. I thought the exact same thing with his inform and his second inform. He just doesn't feel responsive enough, and I don't know if it's just the card himself, if it's how I'm playing with him. He just doesn't manage to tick them boxes for me. His finishing is fantastic. He's got a bit of speed. I really can't argue with that, and the dribbling is nice. It is just that overall animation factor for me that really lets this card down. He's got head and accuracy, but 5'9", it's going to have to be in the box on your own, that early sort of cross where he's managed to kind of get one foot in front of the defender and managed to kind of get in front of him and get that header off. Other than that, he's not going to out jump anybody. He's got no strength, aggression's on the low side, and even stamina. This guy's going to be a super sub more than anything. But let's jump into some gameplay and see how Aspas did. So jumping into the gameplay, and hopefully I do have some clips that show me what it's all about. We go through on goal practically straight away. Unfortunately, absolutely hacks me down like the madman he is, getting a red card straight off the bat. But we'll see him kind of making their movements. He was up front with Torres, another Spanish player, and we see their great save from Potm. Why he doesn't go down there, stop jumping, go down, win that penalty. But he does manage to get himself in the positions. Obviously, it does take a little bit because I feel like he doesn't necessarily have them skill moves that, like the 4-star skill would be absolutely brilliant on this card, but unfortunately he just doesn't possess it. But we do see him making the moves, just doesn't manage to get through on goal. But I think the one thing with Aspas is his price is quite cheap. For an 89, I think 100k is pretty respectable. If you like the design or are doing as many Player of the Months as you can, then obviously this one's going to be a tick in the box, pretty simple in comparison to like the Neymar, Messi's, or yeah, it was Neymar and Messi we had last year. The one thing I just really can't get on with him is just his overall finishing. Like we see here, it's a lovely little ball, it's a great finesse, but then 2 shots ago, doesn't manage to get a harder or an easier chance than that. I just don't quite get how he does it. We did manage to get a hat-trick in this match, which is kind of like saved his bacon in terms of my review for him. I still don't think he's as consistent as I'd like him to be, but I feel like my kind of game style doesn't really compute well with him, and if I'm being completely honest. So now if we do go into the overall, as we can see 100 on the Xbox, it was kind of trailing at 96, 95 on the PlayStation, 107 on the PC. Stat-wise is nice. I feel like he's relatively got some good stats. They kind of stand out for me that need upgrading. Balance 100%, stamina 100%, a bit of strength wouldn't go amiss. Long pass I'm okay with, acceleration would be nice to hit that up into the 90s. Other than that, I feel like he's a well-rounded card. Obviously, if you put the engine on him, you kind of take away quite a lot of them problems. Unfortunately, stamina and strength is, well, stamina definitely isn't one that you can upgrade. Strength you could, but being 69 already, you're not really going to get it up to a point where it's useful, and you need it on the other stats. I feel like the engine works really, really well for him, and I'd probably be looking at him maybe as like a cam or something. I feel like a striker, there's too much pressure for him to kind of take on players, and I think the skill move does let him down in that kind of area. If he literally just had 4-4, it'd probably be more value for coins, but he would definitely be a lot more coins to do this card. In terms of generations then, obviously we've had him since FIFA 13. I thought he was going to be a FIFA 10 player, but I suppose everyone doesn't start FIFA or football when they were young. He may not be in a team that is in FIFA, but he managed to go from Liverpool, well, he went from Celta Vigo, I think it is, who he is at now, to Liverpool. Then he went from Liverpool to Sevilla then back to Celta Vigo, and that's where he's kind of like stayed for the rest of his time. Obviously he's got a team of the season pretty much 3 years running, and then last year was the only one where unfortunately he didn't manage to do it, but he's already got as many special cards as he did last year, and he started one rating lower and he's already one rated higher, which tells me he's having a pretty good season. If I do look at his in real life, he's 17 games, 9 goals, 6 assists. Honestly, I don't think you can complain too much about that. It's not a bad little record. If necessarily you're getting a bit older, you're not necessarily either playing as much or you're getting subbed on rather than starting, and obviously you are still banging in the goals. Can't really complain one bit at that. Link wise, what is his name? Ojibal. We've obviously got Headliner. He's got a Player of the Month if you wanted to use him. And then obviously there is Ansu Fati as well as a Player of the Month. And similar players, or someone who is close to in terms of striking, Felix is or was an absolute mad SBC to complete. There is plenty of others. If we do have a quick look at similar, Jota is a cracking card. Correa was, I think, an objective. Obviously Messi if you can afford him. Rebic's quite nice, a little bit taller of a striker. Ben Yedder, obviously a bit pricey. Griezmann's quite a nice striker, but I kind of prefer him more as a cam, if anything. But overall wise, in terms of SBC, I really can't complain too much about him. If we are looking at his SBC, he is 183 rated squad, 184. Personally, I really don't think that's too much. The 84 at the most. I don't think there was even any informs in that, in fact. Hold on, let's just quickly have a quick look. Was there actually any informs in that? I don't think there was. Oh no, there was one inform on the 83. You can go get an 81, 82 for literally like 10, 15k. So there is no excuse for this being relatively cheap. As you can see, a couple of 85s, you can throw an 84 in there, and then pretty much the rest are 83s. So again, you're looking at a couple of k for the 83s. Yes, the 85s are a little bit more pricey, but you can go do some player picks for literally half the price, and you could go get a walkout and make it twice as cheap. But hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. Let me know down below how many Player of the Months you have completed this year. And bye for now, make sure to like and subscribe. Peace.